And we are live on the PHU Dynasty podcast. This is episode 106. Today, talking to you about week 7 and its review and a week 8 recap. And we are joined today by a special guest of the 0-7, unfortunately, Los Angeles Lambs, James
Hey.
Seafood. James, great to
Yep.
have you on.
Yep. Great to be on. Thanks for having me, as always.
Yeah, we
Appreciate
got to mix up the podcast a little bit, but this
Yep.
week there's some extra importance here, and we'll get into it
Yeah.
a little bit later with our week 8 matchups. But we have a true tank bowl here in week 8 between the Muskrats and the Lambs, but it's really only a tank bowl for one of the teams because they only have their pick. They actually have their first round pick.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it really should be just Dustin is the one that should be on the podcast with you here. So
Sure. Well, I'm sure he's watching it closely, interested. So
I'm sure he's very interested. Exactly.
but
So
the matchup, yeah, for sure.
it should be a great time.
I can speak to helping you stay on course here after this week. So
Yeah. Okay.
There we
For
go.
sure.
All right. So with that, we're going to start with our week 7 matchups. We had some very interesting matchups, some really close games towards the end of the windows. Kind of a crazy week. I feel like week 7, specifically in that that Broncos and Giants game, it was kind of all over the place. Points were flying around towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
So that changed some matchups for sure, as we mentioned about our redraft just a few minutes ago before coming on air. So there's quite a bit to get to, but we're going to start with the week 7 matchups here. And we'll start at the top with my matchup against Vince, which was quite a spirited effort for most of the day. We were watching the games in Discord, and it kind of went back and forth quite a bit with Rico Dowdle,
Yeah.
with some of the early window players not really doing a whole lot for my squad, but also the Rashee Rice comeback game for 16 points, 2 touchdowns to kind of reinsert himself back into my lineup. I threw him in the flex to punish him a little there, so he wasn't in the true wide receiver spot as everybody knows. I believe in that wholeheartedly. However, just the real storyline of this game was me not starting Jalen Hurts. That kind of took me out of that.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
you got cute.
I got cute.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I saw the New Orleans matchup for Caleb Williams. I got excited. I saw the Minnesota matchup for Jalen Hurts, and I just thought that if there was a week to play Caleb, it was going to be coming off of the good performance against Washington last week, at home against a bad New Orleans team. I thought that was probably the opportunity to do it, and I'll be going right back to Jalen Hurts next week. So
They were able to run the ball really well, right? Like you obviously
did.
weren't going to
Yeah,
start. You weren't going to start Monungai, but he had a good game on your bench, and then Vince had Swift, who was one of the reasons he probably won, right? I mean,
yeah, man,
that's it
20
right there.
points.
It's been
Right.
like a theme so far with the Bears this year where like one or the other of their offense is doing it, but like there's not like a connected game yet. It feels like where
That's
the
fair.
rush feels good and Caleb is throwing the ball well. I don't know. It just feels like you're getting one or the other, and you just kind of have to guess.
Yeah, I mean, this is back to back, consecutive really good weeks for Swift here with 20 points in each of his last 2, 100 yards in both games. He also had 67 in the receiving game last week. So it seems like the running game in terms of the blocking and getting them to the second level. I mean, even like you said, James Monungai even had a good game yesterday or 2 days ago. So yeah, it just seems like the running game seems to be clicking right now, and really Caleb hasn't had to do a whole lot. So that's been a good reason to not start him next week. So we're going to go back to Jalen Hurts, and we're not going to fuck around in shop class anymore. So that's probably the real storyline of this game. That being said, we lost a couple of injured players in this game as well. We had Bryce Young go out, I think middle of that game, if not the end of the game. And it looks like it could be a potential multi-week injury. So, for Vince's team, he started him the last couple of weeks. So,
yeah, and then Penix has got the questionable tag there too. But
Penix is questionable, and Kyler's up in the air, so we might not have a quarterback here.
Well, is Kyler out for injury reasons at this point?
It feels like the JJ McCarthy style.
Feels like a shadow benching, yeah.
Yeah, where it's he's injured.
The latest is it's too early to say if he's going to be ready coming out of the bye.
Things have gotten weird for Kyler ever since there was that press conference where he's like, oh yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be here when they finish building that practice facility or Did you guys hear that?
Interesting. I did not
Was
hear
it-
that, but that's
I
an
was like-
interesting quote.
don't know, yeah.
It was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Yeah, you should check it out. Where it was like there's literally a clip of him saying like commenting because like a reporter asked him, hey, like like what do you think about this new practice facility or whatever that's going to open? And he's like, oh yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be here for that. And it's just like, oh okay, like
That's quite an
And-
interesting
yeah.
quote.
I think there
Yeah.
could be a new coach and quarterback there next
Well, I think
year.
there's Sean, because I think maybe the last time I was even on this pod was potentially was hot takes, and you definitely said something about Murray, but I know I think I was on for the Vince team review too, where we talked about Murray a lot. It's just been not been
Yeah.
good, and I think it's coming to fruition that he will be off the team next year. So
Yeah. I feel like anything I say at this point is just beating a dead horse. I just
yeah.
I remember saying like over like a year ago, like that this is probably his like last big contract in the NFL, and I just don't know if he's gonna be a starter after
Yeah.
this contract.
No, that's fair. Well then,
No.
so Bryce Young is there. I mean, do the Lionheads is the QB problem here? I mean, he managed to get the win this week, right? Bryce Young did just enough, but what do you think?
I think I mean if you're just looking
Yeah.
at the roster as a whole, you got Michael Penix questionable. It's probably who I guess it's Kirk Cousins is the other option.
Or
Is he on this team?
Or Dalton?
I didn't
Oh, yeah,
think about
he's-
Dalton.
He's definitely got to be on the wait because there's a couple quarterbacks this week. I'm sure he's on the waivers for sure.
Mhm.
He's got to
Yeah,
get a couple
so-
of these guys. Quinn
so-
Ewers, maybe. No, okay.
Real deep cut there. Yeah, I mean, I mean, we do have problems here. I mean, Vince is obviously 4-3 now. He's
Yeah.
definitely still in the mix. It's just a matter of like
It's a big win for his team to get.
You really needed that win, specifically when your receivers are combining for like 5 points a week. It seems like
Yeah, no,
this week it was no different really with Tutu Atwell with the goose egg. Actually, a flat line, not even a target, which everybody loves a good flat line. And then Cooper Kupp literally threw an interception to try to get him negative yards. So that was exciting last night. And then 37 yards from Matt Golden. So it's just not a good vibe right now with this receiver room. And then to throw the quarterback room on top of it, it's basically the fighting Trey McBride, Bijan, and Jonathan Taylor's at this point.
Well, I was about to say, Jonathan Taylor solves a lot of problems, right?
He's having one of the best seasons of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard he's on pace to have the highest touchdowns since LT.
I think he's on pace for 26 is what I heard.
I had a thought earlier. I was driving around, and can you exit out of there and just go to the matchup real quick? Eric?
Yeah.
Just looking at his two starting running backs and then McCaffrey there. Which two of those three guys are right now are the all pros in the NFL? Because it feels wrong to leave one of them out because I feel like they've been clearly.
I mean, I hate to say it, it's McCaffrey only because the rushing efficiency isn't there, but is that really his fault? No.
I
but
think it's Bijan.
you think it's Bijan?
I think
I guess
Bijan's been so productive that it doesn't matter.
I guess what's his rushing efficiency this year? But I just know that McCaffrey's has been so bad. Yeah, I mean Bijan's averaging 5.4.
So let's rephrase the question. Which running back of the three are the most important to their teams?
McCaffrey's number one.
I feel like McCaffrey. If you take McCaffrey out of that offense, they have nothing.
Yeah,
I think it's one with a bullet.
But then, like, I don't think that the Colts
Bijan's
can even
too.
function. I think Jonathan Taylor is too, because I don't know if the Colts function remotely as close to efficiently and as good as they are without.
yeah. I mean,
he's the engine that drives that offense.
I believe that Steichen could still figure it out, and I don't think Zach Robinson could figure it out without Bijan in the passing game on that team.
That's true.
Currently as constructed, considering they literally just released a receiver that was second on their team, third in receiving yards last year, because they can't figure this shit out. He's on pace for over 1,000 yards receiving, I think, still.
yeah.
I mean, all three of these guys are just having ridiculously great seasons. But
it's all to say that they're all amazing. It's just I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, wow, one of these guys isn't going to be an all-pro. What?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Well, we'll get back to Vince's team on the next matchup as well. So we'll keep this thing moving here. We got the Long Gamers and Lambs. Another great reason to have James on the podcast this week.
Yeah,
pretty spirited effort for the Lambs.
I know. It was one of those that meme that's out there with the Drake Bell one, like, whoa there, take it easy, buddy. Like that's why I look at my team sometimes. But yeah, I mean Judkins that's the vision when when drafted a player 1-3, right? Is that he can do that and do that in the future. And
yeah, he's been unbelievable.
He's been the best rookie running back this year. I mean, that's not hyperbole you're saying.
I don't think it's
So,
debatable really at this point. Like,
so
I mean,
that's
Jash and Genty hasn't
good.
been that good.
But on the flip side, Henderson looks like ass. So, you win some, you lose some.
I mean, if you bet 50% in the draft, you're doing okay. So,
Yeah.
I think at this point, like Judkins at age 21, RB12 on the year, did not even play week 1. It's looking very bright, and he is literally their entire offense at this point. Like, there's just you talk about somebody who's important to their offense. I think if you took away Judkins, I don't even know what the Browns do. Like, I just don't think they have anything. And it's really his efficiency has been pretty good, all things considered. When everybody knows that he's going to get the ball 25 times a game, basically. So he's playing outstanding football. And then on top of that, you had a really big game from Justin Herbert.
That
kind of bounced back a little bit here recently.
That 4 p.m. wild window you talked about, this Chargers Colts game had obviously we just talked about Taylor had the 3 touchdowns, and then Herbert had the big game. So it
was a big piece of the puzzle here for the Lambs, and getting CD back was a nice boost, and Brian Thomas doing what he can to keep that tank going. Really, is he the best tank commander in the game right now, all things considered? Because like of his state, like he's a guy that you absolutely
him and TreVeyon Henderson.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, you could put both in the lineup and not really say anything bad about it. Like, so it's like a perfect player for a tank.
Yeah, with Thomas, I'm hoping this is just a classic sophomore slump, but the Jags need somebody who like plays over the middle of the field, and maybe Thomas needs to be that, or maybe he doesn't want to be that. But
I think that guy's hurt right now. And Strange.
Strange, yeah.
I mean, the check down guy.
I mean, but even he was. I mean, he's an average tight end at best. I'm talking, like maybe they
agreed, but he was the middle of the field, and
you're right.
I said this last week where it's like it's hard to like say that Trevor Lawrence is playing well, and you can't really defend that he's playing well, but you've got Brian Thomas who's just afraid to go to the middle of the field, and Travis Hunter who's literally for the first time in his life learning to play receiver. He's just been going off of vibes up until now. So like that's tough when your top 2 guys are in that situation. So I think it's gonna take time, and I think it's gonna continue to get better as the season progresses, assuming he's not missing time. I don't really know, but
yeah.
I mean, every time I watch Brian Thomas, like he's just at that like literally anything between the hashes, he's just coming up short, alligator arms, and he's just scared of the middle right now, and that's it's just funny because that just wasn't who he was last year. He was doing these things last year, so I'm not really sure what happened. That being said, he's still very talented. There's still plenty of times to work things out. But right now for the Lambs, this is actually like kind of a halfway decent scenario.
Yeah,
so,
I'm fine with it. Just get your shit together next year.
And Born Legacy also doing an excellent job in the tank. This is what we started him for. So just for games like this, I'm just so confused about TreVeyon Henderson right now. That's the one that like I can't figure it out. I mean, they literally were playing Terrell Jennings this past week. I don't even know who that is. Which is rare usually in the dynasty circles to not even know who a player is. So there's clearly something behind the scenes that's just off, because somebody that's, of TreVeyon Henderson's talent and draft pedigree, like there's just no reason that he shouldn't be on the field other than some behind the scenes stuff. Like, I don't get it. So I'm just confused. I don't know if you guys have any answers, but I don't have it.
I can tell you that Mike Vrabel post-game sought out Jennings and just bear hugged him and was so happy for him after the game that he was getting the ball. So
it just doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. And I won't get it.
I have no idea. That doesn't make any sense to me. They don't say anything because Vrabel's kind of tight-lipped on that.
Yeah, he's tight-lipped on stuff.
He's got the Belichick in him.
It's a rookie year. That's the only thing I can say at this point, and we just got to hope that eventually it'll figure. But yeah, I don't know. And the other thing too is like the team is winning, so it's like it's not like a problem for them to like, oh, we got to get this guy the ball, we got to draw plays, we got to make sure like their vibe is like, no, like we're a team on the rise, like you fit into us. If there's some like scheme fit thing, or there's that pass protection fiasco against the Dolphins of why he sort of got benched for that game. So like I feel like he hasn't recovered from that. Maybe he's rattled. I don't know, but
that could definitely be. And
it is what
like
it is.
Because he's got that second round pedigree, like he's not just gonna evaporate. Like he's gonna get another shot, I'm sure, at some point here. So it's just a matter of time. But really, for you, it's not really the worst thing, like you said, because this is not like you're not counting on him right now. So that's fine. And then for Sean's team, a good week at 134. Really
solid.
Big weeks from Devontae Adams in that early London game window, which is a very strange stat line. At 35 yards, 8 targets, and 3 touchdowns. You don't see that too often. With that shortage or with that short of yardage totals, but he's like their goal line receiver, which I feel like we don't get to say a lot anymore because there's really not a lot of guys like this where they're just like inside the 10 making plays like this.
It's like an Evans too, right? It's like that precision, like that older player precision where like they, the route running and obviously Stafford and Adams are 2 savvy vets who can, cook the freaking Jags in London. That was a apprentice versus the master game too, right?
Yeah,
like,
that was
like a former apprentice.
Yeah,
like
those guys just love sticking it to each other when they
play. And he just took him behind the woodshed and showed him.
Yeah, that was bad stuff. It was just one of those games like they just never. It looked like they just never had a shot. Yeah. And then we had Tucker Kraft with another very good game. He's playing good football this year, man. He's playing really.
10 targets, I think I saw.
10 targets, 5 catches, 58 yards, a touchdown. He's tied in 4 on the year, so that's working out quite well. And so is Michael Pittman, who's continuing his excellent season, bounce back season, if you will, with another 13-point performance.
Well, he had the whole didn't he break his back or something last year? So it was very explainable
last year,
why he sucked last year.
Yeah, kind of lowered his. It's one of those things where we just choose to forget that a player played injured an entire year.
Yeah,
because I don't think anybody here thinks that he was ever not a good receiver. It's just
right. He's not like a top 10 receiver, but he's not.
And the perceived situation coming into the year is just very depressed value.
Yeah, it happens every year where a guy's either battling through a lot of injuries. Also, Dalton Kincaid was kind of that guy last year where he's just playing through a shoulder injury for most of last year. It does affect things for these receivers, if they're battling through these type of things.
Considering I'm seeing Daniel Jones in the first preview of players for betting odds for MVP right now is just the most crazy thing. There's no world in which you could have told me that he would be in the MVP. I just would never have believed you. And then we had Javonte Williams. Sorry, go ahead, James.
No, I was saying it should be Jonathan Taylor should be getting those in, but
they're both in there. They're both on the top 10.
Got it. All right, good.
I wouldn't feel bad about either one of those at this point. They're both that team is just playing great football. Javonte Williams had his nice bounce back week after the bad Carolina week the previous week. So he's just. He looks like a completely different player than last year. Another guy that was still kind of working through injuries last season.
He looks like what he was drafted to be.
He looks like full speed at this point. So that's been a huge boost as well for the long gamers. And then that's probably going to be it for this matchup. Let's go to our. Oh, you got a big one, James?
No, I need you to at least talk for a minute on Gadsden.
Oh man, don't even start me on Aronde. Don't even start me. All right. Well, I guess we're going to do the Oronde Gadsden segment of the show has arrived.
Yeah.
He's playing good football, James. He looks legit. Yeah. He looks like a real player. I imagine he's going to be a starter for.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm starting him.
So that's going to be exciting. So basically, he is the new. I'm going to call it. This is the next Darren Waller. That's what I'm going to say. So he's. Basically a receiver
he was a receiver. Yeah.
I'm pretty much, I think, exact same measurables almost. Even we're that close. He was at Syracuse. He was with that Kyle McCord offense with Jackson Meeks. It's one of my favorite offenses of the last 10 years that had no notoriety whatsoever. So it was Kyle McCord, LaQuint Allen, Jackson Meeks, Oronde Gadsden. Love it. Absolutely love every bit of it.
What a random hodgepodge.
It's just a bunch of bullshit, but I love all that shit. So I got to see a lot of that offense last year because I was very invested for no reason. I think he's a legitimately good receiving talent. We're obviously seeing that he's done it in 2 weeks in a row now. He also was banged up early in the year. So he was kind of just figuring out. I still think he's still working his way into things at this point, which is crazy because he just dropped a 164 against a very good Indy team. So I don't think this is a fluke at all. If anything, I think he has that potential to be that next kind of Waller guy where he's a big slot. He's not going to block anybody he's literally just he's not a blocker. He's just a big slot guy. And that's frankly what this team, like, that's the one thing they're kind of missing is like that big box it out receiving option. Like, cause even like Quentin Johnson doesn't play to his size. Like he's not that kind of guy.
No, yeah, he's not that style.
Like, and then Keenan Allen and Ladd are just not those guys either. So at this point for sure. So I think Oronde gives them something they don't have in this offense. And if I've learned anything about Jim Harbaugh, once he loves a guy, you gotta go with that guy, and he absolutely loves Oronde Gadsden. And from his time that the Oronde Gadsden Senior was in the league, right. I guess they knew each other at some point too. So he's just got that high upside that we don't really see at the tight end position because of his size and his measurables and his speed. And he just wasn't really like a high value prospect because he's a tweener and he needs a specific role. And if somebody can fit him into that role, then great. And that's basically what we got here. So I think it's all I'm all systems go for Oronde Gadsden in the future, and just a phenomenal Lambs player because he could drop a one catch performance, and it's very possible
for the rest of this year. Yeah, we'll see.
Totally,
but no, it's crazy. If I would have started him, I would have beaten Sean. But yeah, let's enough about this matchup. But that's I just had to ask.
I mean, compare him to Colston Loveland right now is the fact that we're starting Oronde Gadsden over Loveland. You would have told me that at the beginning of the season. I would not have believed you either.
You're right. Football's a funny game.
All right, Matthew, 5 minutes on Devin Neal's one carry against Chicago.
I will not be doing that. But the fact, we should. I mean, I think there is a legitimate mention here because Kendre Miller's done, so he's gonna get working out.
Pour one out.
Dennis Allen just looked at him from the sideline and he tore his ACL. It's tough.
I was wondering if it was Bounty Gate, all over again.
All right, well, that's Russ and Sean Payton right now.
I heard about that today. I didn't read anything yet.
I'm
excited. I've never seen Russell Wilson go into the media like that. So that'll be interesting.
Called him classless.
Interesting. All right, so this one was a real nail biter here between the Plague and the Battle Axes. Unsurprised, or I'm quite surprised by this matchup.
Plague really gave him a scare there.
A real scare. Obviously, the Plague isn't real. They're not really interested in winning this matchup, but really put it. I mean, it was Danny Jones with that 26-point performance, but really the story of this game was Jaden Daniels coming out of this game for Scavelli. That's obviously a pretty big loss there. And then Saquon Barkley just frankly has not put up the numbers this year that he basically needs to between him and Henry for this team to really compete. It's just not happening. So I think there's a bigger discussion. I know we had a little bit of a discussion when Vince was on a while back, but just like Scavelli's team, are we in pretty big trouble here at this point? I mean, it's starting to get scary.
We had 3 gooses, but we got away with a win,
which is good. The Evans one hurts as well, which we definitely can't pass that over. I mean, that's a huge drop for this team at receiver.
Well, his
second best player is Brandon Aubrey. Like,
it's tough out here, but he got the win. So, and like that,
he did.
It was crucial because honestly, I might say if he didn't get this win, it I might be saying it's the game that cost him. Where now it's at least he's tied with the other teams ahead of him. But I did some research on the schedules before we all got on here. Eric, you, Vince, and Justin play the 3 tanking teams three more times of the remaining 7 games.
Well,
and everybody else only plays them twice. So Scavelli's in that group. But Justin and Vince are 4-3, and Scavelli is 4-3, right? So the 2 teams he's chasing have an extra game against the bad teams. And he's 100 points behind Vince and closer to Justin, but just thought that this is interesting. Like he's in a tough spot, right? Because again, we're far enough into the year where like your team kind of is what it is, and now you can really start to look at the schedule math and stuff, and it's like it's going like right now he would be the prediction to be on the outside looking in, but we know how the battle axes battle, and Scavelli's always got a trick or 2 up his sleeve. But
I mean, if I'm Scavelli, I am selling whatever quarterback has the most perceived value on my team to Dustin right now for like any of the depth receivers or anything that I.
It's an interesting thought. Yeah.
Because I
I'm
don't think
wondering
there's
too,
another
like,
trade partner out there for him for a quarterback. Because
well,
Vince
could you
could
argue
trade for a
Vince? But
quarterback.
like, would you do that at this point? Probably
Vince
not.
isn't going
Right?
to trade depth for a quarterback. He'll trade a draft pick, I would imagine, before depth. I mean,
Well, that's what gets interesting is Vince and Scalia are battling for spots. So it's like, do those teams trade with each other? Like, I don't know. It's
Mhm.
weird. I mean,
It's also interesting because
I incorporate that kind of stuff if I'd be in that spot.
like if you're, I
Same.
guess we haven't really got to like Vince's team like future looking yet, but we just had his recap game. But you know, if you're Vince's team with the receiving core that he's got right now, the quarterback room that he's got now, like, is it reason? Do we think he's a real contender to the point where you would go out and make a trade to buy and you know sell off a draft pick or two or something like that? Like, I don't know. I feel like I don't see that team as it stands, other than those two, you know, big running backs.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you have that duo, it's almost like, man, like
you almost
you
have
feel like
to.
you
Right?
want to. We feel like you want to at least make the playoffs because then with those players, you know, like you make a couple right starts, you know, like maybe a few other random things hit for you late in the year, and and you can go on a run. I don't think we should be mortgaging the future like prime draft picks, but if there's deals he can make around the margins, I always think that's a good idea. Like I said, I think it's always the right idea to try to make the playoffs when you have the opportunity, and both these teams do. It's just the reality is, yeah, I mean, there's there's probably three spots for four teams. I'm going to include the Elk in that group just because their point total isn't of the top three teams, even though they have one more win. But that's kind of how I see it right now.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be between specifically the Battle Axes and the Lionheads moving forward. I think there's going to be some flurry of moves at some point just to try to for jockeying of position there towards the back of that playoff line, the cutoff line. So
Yeah,
it's just going to be interesting to see what happens. But I think both teams definitely have their reasons to try to make a move at this point because for the Fighting Scavellis, the running backs just haven't been what they usually are, and that's what carries this team for the most part. You know,
well,
historically.
Yeah, he needs Bucky back too, and
he needs Bucky back in the worst way.
He's not coming back till after the bye at this point, right? If you're the Bucks, why bring him back?
There's no reason to play him against New Orleans. No. that would be stupid. So
you know,
we lost him, and then obviously losing Evans for the year. Basically, at this point, that's a tough one, and that just
he's already hurting that receiver, and for the.
So like you got Higgins and Diggs, which have been pretty good. So I'll say that. So that those two guys have kind of worked out for Scavelli. But you know, outside of that, we're talking Luke McCaffrey. You know, just not a lot of options.
Keenan Allen probably should have started. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, that was an interesting one.
It's been kind of rough the last couple weeks before this. I don't know.
That's fair. And here I am throwing stones from my glass house. I benched Keenan Allen in the league too. So.
I think the weird bench to me was Alec Pierce. I would have played Alec Pierce over a couple of guys.
That's fair. Yeah, well, because the other two receivers are out, right? Downs and Mitchell.
Doolin, and they hate AD Mitchell. AD Mitchell is healthy. They just hate him.
He had like two targets. He gets 2 targets a game. He has 0 catches a game. It's good stuff. I really enjoy it.
And Pierce is just a good receiver at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been good.
As much as we've like kind of shitted on the guy for the last few years, but he's just turned into a good X receiver.
Yeah, I think he's a guy that's going to get paid this offseason from another team. I don't think he's going to stick around, but I think somebody will pay him like money that would be like, wow, he got that much, and then maybe he'll keep it up. Yeah,
right. And like teams always pay for speed.
I mean, look at Tutu Atwell. He got $10 million because he runs straight.
Yep.
So I mean, I don't see any way that Alec Pierce, doesn't get at least that average. Wide receiver.
Congratulations, you're a Jet.
Oh my God, that would be disgusting. We'll get to the Jets, I'm sure, at some point here, but just a couple of big performances on the benches here for quarterbacks. Just thought I would mention them. Bo Nix for 43, Jackson Dart for 34, and then Stafford with the huge 5-touchdown game with 182 yards, which is so strange. So that was quite an effort as well. So just to mention, it's not like Scavelli's hurting at quarterback with Jaden Daniels out, but it would be nice to have a guy like that back. So interesting there. Not a whole lot else for the plague here. I mean, obviously Jake Ferguson keeps up his good season, and Addison had a really nice game. Which that trade has been pretty damn good, at least in terms of the return of Jordan Addison. He's been 10 points every single game since he's come back. So and he's very young, so that seems to be kind of working out for the plague in the short term. So, and then we got to get into another really close game here: Bombers versus Elk. 129 to 120 victory for the Elk. A huge win, frankly, just like we were talking about for just like the overall standings. For the Elk to get to that 5-2 mark. And once again, the Bombers kind of dealing with some of the stuff that they've been dealing with for most of the season, with running back production, bye weeks, injuries, all these different kinds of things going on. We've seen a bit of a downturn here for Travis Etienne. I thought I would bring that up. It's been 3 straight weeks of just kind of nothing. Which I have him in redraft, so I know the pain on this one. But, this was the guy, like at the beginning of the season, we really thought we were cooking with gas and he would be a very reliable, RB2 or something like that. And it's kind of turned the other way at this point.
5.8, 5.5, 5.5.
Yeah, it's not fun football to watch, that's for sure.
The Jags are just...
I don't know what to make of the Jags.
Man, they're a tough watch. They're tough.
I think they're going to be one of the teams that I'm most interested to watch their post-bye, which is this week.
Yeah.
Because they seem like a team that just needs the bye week super bad.
I mean, they got to do something to try to gel because it just doesn't feel like anybody's gelling on this offense. Even that win against the Chiefs, it didn't feel like anything was cohesive in that game. It was just all like thrown together, it felt like.
99.
We had 2 awesome. I mean, going on the road to San Fran and then they beat the Chiefs. Like, you're 4-1, you're playing great, and then to just get smoked by the NFC West the past 2 weeks. Like, the Seahawks went into their place, beat them the hell up, and then the Rams in London. Like, the Jags.
Did the Jags go over for like the whole week, or was that the Rams that went over for the whole week?
No, the Rams stayed east.
The Rams stayed east. They were in Baltimore until they went, because they did their practices at Camden.
Interesting. I thought one of those teams stayed over like in London for the whole week or something.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it's the Jags.
I think the Vikings.
Their owner is
the Vikings did. The Vikings played back-to-back.
Oh, that's right. They had back-to-backers. I don't know. I thought I heard something about one of the teams going over for a week early.
The Jags know exactly what they're doing when they go over there. They're there every year. I don't understand at this point what makes it difficult to.
Well, they're just the Jags.
So. Well, I think it was just this particular game was not a good matchup for them. The Rams are just better.
Yeah.
So anyway, we also had just a colossal Thursday night game from Jamar Chase, 16 catches, PPR legend status almost. 23 targets is just crazy work. So
that is insane.
I mean, and that's like Justin's got to be thrilled with the Joe Flacco kind of emergence here, because now we're back to having Jamar Chase as wide receiver, top 5 receiver again, which is literally needed for this team in order to win a championship game.
Well, Joe Flacco's the best thing that ever happened to the Bombers.
And frankly for T. Higgins as well, they're both relevant again. So that's been huge.
How bad does it feel to be spending the most money on a defense in the NFL and the Steelers are just getting torched?
Something's up with that defense. I don't know what it is.
The play calling, the coaching is terrible.
And it's crazy.
It's awful.
Like Jalen Ramsey looks like old Jalen Ramsey too, which is crazy. Like every time I usually don't notice corners all that often, but like whenever he's on the screen, it's just like always something's good's happening for the Steelers. Like it's either a crazy pass breakup or a great tackle or something like that. So it's just a strange team right now to watch. Of course, like Aaron Rodgers in the Pittsburgh uniform just doesn't feel right to me still. It just doesn't feel like, I still don't like the way it looks. It's like, man, something's off with this team. And the running game has actually picked up quite a bit for the Steelers recently as well. So just an interesting team overall. Let's go to the other side. So we had Devontae Smith with a huge game.
Yeah.
Which was
just so good for them this year.
I mean,
it's not showing up statistically, but he has been so good.
I mean, he's still one of the most underrated receivers in the league, in my opinion. It's just the usage is very inconsistent. Tyler Warren continues to be very, very good for a rookie tight end.
Tight end 2 on the year.
Tight end 2 on the year, which is excellent. Olave also has been very, very good recently. Last couple of weeks, he's had 98 yards, lots of targets, couple touchdowns.
That team's always losing, and Rattler is at least passable. Like for fantasy purposes, he's fine because he can get the ball to the skill players. So.
Yeah, I mean, we as a Chris Olave owner, like you don't want them to go to Shuck at all at this point, because at least he's I mean, well, maybe the Lambs would, but at least for Rattler getting.
I think they
the ball
will.
to
I
him,
think that I feel like they will at some point.
they almost
Like,
have to, right? Like,
don't you have to see what you have in Shuck, especially because you're going to end up with one of the top 5 picks anyway. So like you got to
let's find
see if
so they
I
got
don't
on the
know.
week 11 bye, so maybe week 12.
So maybe
they
after
come
that,
in there.
yeah. All right.
Oh,
Like
but look at that nice Miami matchup though.
That Miami matchup is beautiful. So maybe that's the Shuck matchup. Is week 13 at Miami.
I mean, yeah, you get my or you
Also,
go,
look at the end of the year: 15, 16, 17. Carolina, Jets, Tennessee. That might be the money right there, because you can in those 3 games you might be like, all right, we might got our guy here, even though we all know he's not
the
the guy.
Jets might not be in the
hey,
NFL.
he might be the guy, Eric. Come on.
I don't think he's the guy. James,
You never know.
You know what? I'll at least watch him to see if he.
I have my doubts, but let's at least see him play. Let's at least let him get his shot.
This is a split podcast on Spencer Rattler. I am pro Rattler. Eric is.
I'm not pro Rattler.
Rattler.
I think he's fine. I think he's fine.
We're both
But,
anti Shuck, so
but that's not
That's
hard
fine.
to do, Sean. Come on.
I mean, you guys just.
I don't think.
guys-
Is anybody like other than Todd McShay? Is there anybody pro Shuck? I don't really know anybody that's like really beating the drum for Tyler Shuck at any point, except for Todd McShay.
I don't know.
Mickey Loomis is an idiot at this point. We know that.
I mean,
the second you
backup quarterback in the second round. Here we go.
drafted the backup quarterback in the second round and then traded a 4th round pick for Devon Vele.
Bet your ass they did.
And then they also traded for Jalen Polk. I can't respect that like that. That's just not good GMing at that point.
I'm just here waiting for somebody to trade for Rashid Shaheed.
Oh, that would be hot.
Yeah.
Free my guy. Free him.
Well, he's another one who will get paid right in the Sox. He's a free agent.
Another speed guy too.
Him and Alec Pierce will be right in the same range too.
Yep.
They're going to be they're going to be high-fiving with their giant checks together.
20 mil a year, bros.
I mean, really, outside of, is there anybody else that you guys want to mention in this matchup? I haven't seen anybody else. I mean, Buka is going to get a bump up again.
Yeah, he was hurt.
Evans
I mean,
being out.
I mean, Scadabo's awesome.
He's very good.
Big game for. No,
He's
I'm just.
he's an RB8 on the year, and he didn't
He's
even
really
play
good.
week 1, basically.
I mean,
He's going to be he's a ball player, as they
They
say.
come save Ashton Genty from his nightmare in Las Vegas. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good one to mention. I mean, he's just. I mean that first of all, that performance from the Raiders this past
that
week,
was so bad.
I heard they ran 29 plays on offense.
They
The
had
Chiefs
3
had
first
30
downs.
first downs. So the Chiefs had more first downs
They had
than they
31
had
points.
plays. And I also heard that it was the second least amount of plays total of any team since like the 60s or something. So like they literally just didn't play offense.
You know what the number 1 team in that category is? It was the franchise's first game in Cleveland for the Browns. Was the worst game like in that category as far as like least amount of plays. What a start.
Do you think Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly might be one and done? I think there's a shot now.
Yeah.
I think there's a real chance because this is not. I mean, clearly Geno's a one and done.
Geno's definitely one and done. I think Pete will get another year.
I mean, that's just nothing has looked good on offense of this team.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's already dropped
hours. They have like a rookie that they could go to didn't they take a rookie in the 6th round? But like that's not happening this year.
No, Geno will just take the ball. I mean, at this point, you want a bad pick.
Literally, Kenny Pickett came in the game and fumbled on like the first snap that he came in on. So like that's
no.
Well, he'd be a good tank commander for them. So
yeah, I mean, if they go the full tank route, yeah. I don't. They need more offensive pieces. They're not, and Bowers is hurt. It's just nothing is really going right for this team right now. So anyway, there's probably too much talk on that. And then let's finish out the week 7 matchups here with a big 176 performance from the Cheese Fries, retaking the number 1 spot in the league at 6-1 with a huge performance. Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs last night ruined the Bucks. The Bucks were
so good.
Bucks were a disaster last night, but Jahmyr Gibbs is still incredible.
I don't know if the Bucks were a disaster. I think Gibbs was.
Offensively, we were a disaster. I should say.
Oh, yes. Defensively, I thought the Bucks played well, I thought Gibbs made obviously the long touchdown run, and then even the short touchdown run was impressive, and then he even had like a 4th and 1 he converted. Like he was just truly one of the best players in the field last night, and he consistently is. So
yeah, I mean, and Gibbs, I mean, the Bucks run defense, I looked it up before the game because I was curious. They were the 5th best run defense in terms of yards allowed heading into the game, and he just carved them up the whole game. It felt like so. Definitely a really great performance there from Gibbs, and that's basically what Tibbs is going to need to win this league. Is kind of like those type of performances once we get into the playoffs. So good to see that from one of your best players. Another guy that's just been crushing it all year, Jackson Smith-Njigba. He looks like, when you just watch him on the field at this point, like he just looks like a stud. Like every time he gets the ball, whatever he's doing, it looks fluid. I mean, not that it didn't before, but now we're talking these numbers, so consistent these last 3 weeks.
At what point is he in the Jefferson Chase category for you guys? Because I don't think he's far off.
I think if he just keeps, because I think this has been going on since mid last year. So I think if we just keep this rolling, yeah, he's in that tier because
he's in top 10 easily for me at this point.
I mean, it's kind of the route that Lamb took, if for being real too, right? He was the third receiver with good teams. He was the slot receiver, right? Remember, they had Lockett and Metcalf. Year 2, you get to that like wide receiver 15 range, and then year 3, boom, you're a top receiver in the game. So I think by the end of this year, JSN will be in that tier.
And I think we had basically the exact same question, or at least I did, about Lamb. Heading into that, he's going to be the wide receiver 1 this year. I had my questions like, is he a true number 1? It's basically the same way that Jackson Smith was basically in the 4th roundish this year. It's like, I want to see him do it before I, invest that heavily into him. But like, clearly this was the right call to go ahead and invest in a guy like this, because he's been a true number 1 to me at this point.
Yeah. The way the game is played these days, it feels like players like him, Amon-Ra St. Brown, like that style of player is like the versatility. Puka, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the game has changed, like away from these big guys.
Well, Puka's more like, he's like physicality though, Sean. Like I'm talking more these like technician types where they're like, I mean, frankly, Egbuka I think is kind of in this mold too, where it's like they're just so good with, obviously, they're like,
well, they all do. They're all able to get to the middle of the field, and they're all able to really line up wherever you need them. That's correct. Like the real like middle of that Venn diagram from. They all do it differently, but
okay, yeah,
that's where I was getting at. Like they all kind of can just touch every blade of grass on the field and start wherever you need them to, essentially.
Yeah,
it's kind of changed where like we've talked about like in the past the armadillos type of receiver, those 6'4", 220 kind of guys, like that used to be like the prototype number 1. And I think like the real shift, I don't think there was a specific player, but if there is one, that kind of changed, like, oh, this guy can be a true number 1 at this size and with this type of skill set, is like a Stephon Diggs type, where it's like, yeah, he's 6'1", 190 to 200 pounds. Like Malik Neighbors is in this category right now. Jamar Chase is in this category, where they're not physically imposing guys, but they're so good at route running. They can play all over the field, like you guys mentioned. Like that's what the NFL is looking for at this point. And you can even see it in the way that teams are drafting. They're not scared of, oh, this guy is like, for example, Zay Flowers was a 1st round pick recently. Like these guys that like, they didn't used to be 1st round picks. Like 5'9" receivers, 5'10" receivers didn't used to be these, highly thought of prospects. Whereas now it's like, you can get a Jackson Smith-Njigba, even a Ladd McConkey last year. Like usually like guys like that size, we're not going as high, even as in the 2nd round, as high as he was. So I think that there's a shift now where, I mean, I'd like to see the top 10 of current dynasty rankings and how many guys are actually like in that true number 1 mold with that old sizing kind of thing. I don't think there's many at this point.
I think there's like it almost feels like when you're the tallest kid in middle school and you're like, okay, you're going to be our center on the basketball team. Like you're the tall guy playing receiver. So you're only going to be outside because big receiver outside. It's like that line of thinking. And those guys just don't seem like they come into like college or anything as refined as these guys that are just like coming in as slot receivers by the time they finish college, if that makes sense. Like, so they're like a guy like JSN played all over the place. Like Egbuka played all over the place at Ohio State. Playing at Ohio State also very helpful.
That helps the cause.
With Brian Hartline there, that's very helpful.
Yeah.
But I think there's just like a little bit of that as well. Because like you see like some of these big receivers, they come into the NFL and like they're not bad, but it's taking them a little while to really like your Alec Pierce's, Cortland Sutton's, like those big guys that are like good players, but they just aren't like they can't produce at the same level as these other guys can.
And it's usually because they can't separate. That's the biggest piece of the puzzle here. Like the NFL is all about speed now, and let's get open as fast as we can. Let's get the ball out as fast as we can. And like when you got a guy like Devin Funchess who can't get off a brick, so like that's just a different game. I'm looking at the rankings right now. You got Chase, number 1, who's 6 foot tall. Puka 6'2", Jefferson is 6'1", Amon-Ra is 6 foot, Jackson Smith-Njigba is 6 foot. He's currently Dynasty tight end 5, according to Keep Trade Cut right now. CD Lamb is 6'2", Malik Neighbors 6 foot, Emeka Egbuka is 6'1". So really, like the first like big guy you get to is like Drake London, around pick number 10, and like Tet. So like those kind of guys are like the new.
That's your old style mold. Is like like the Drake is like your classic X receiver for sure.
And like Nico Collins, guys like that. But like Garrett Wilson, another good example of like a technician type. So yeah, it's and the guys like Marvin Harrison, like they're just not really hitting the same. Like Harrison, what rank?
Keon Coleman.
It's really funny that you said Harrison, because I think he's a guy that by this time next year, assuming he's got just a better situation at quarterback potentially, or at least a quarterback that will throw to the middle of the field, he could be in this category like JSN, like by this time next year.
So according to the Keep Trade Cut right now, he's wide receiver 17 in Dynasty, which is such a fall from where he was.
I think he could climb that by next year easily.
It's just I mean that offense is ass, so
I don't have any doubt about the talent that he has. I think he could be there.
All right, you heard it here first.
I'm starting to doubt it, but
James is
I also don't watch the Cardinals super closely, but
I try to actively not watch the Cardinals. So
I love to hate watch Kyler Murray and just hate myself. So
yeah, he's ass. Anyway, getting back to this game, we had an AJ Brown 25-point performance on 4 catches, which is pretty awesome. So he's back.
A big game.
And then we had a Josh Jacobs game of 2 touchdowns. I didn't even think he was going to play in this game, so I benched him in another league. That hurt because it was a 325 game. I didn't really have any other options, so that kind of hurt. But yeah, just a tough one. And then Travis Hunter, we got finally his first like big game, which they kind of force fed him the ball for a little.
Was it all in the second half? Because I did not watch the second half of this game.
I think it was mostly it was garbage time for the most part,
which is better than nothing. But
catches in the first half.
But at least he was playing football, like like he was doing something, which is nice. I'm just curious to see if he can keep it up at this point, because 14 targets is like literally double anything he's had all year. So I'm wondering if that's just a fluke, or if maybe he's getting more comfortable, or maybe they're realizing, hey, like maybe we should probably just like get this offense going and use our best talent on the field.
I mean, just look at the snap rate the last 2 games compared to before the season. Like even that, like
stick it up. No, okay. That's true.
Yeah, he's moving up. So that's a good sign. So anyway, big win here. Muskrats, really nothing to talk about other than another great week for Mahomes. So that, he's just kind of getting a lot of points on a team that's not winning anything. And really nothing else of big note. Maybe Quentin Johnson had another touchdown. So nothing much there.
Is it worth to talk about here or next? But because he played Dak here, and this is an interesting one for the Cheese Fries. Like, do Cheese Fries get at a point where does he have to consider Dak some weeks?
I think that's a legitimate question at this point, because I mean Josh Allen hasn't really not that he hasn't been good, but he's definitely been not as good as he has been in the past. He's QB 9 on the year. Obviously the bye week this past week, but the past couple weeks it's been ho hum. Nothing crazy.
Having to go to Carolina, I mean that's a hell house to play in right now. So I wouldn't want to go there.
If there's ever been a get right week, I would say it would be that one. But I don't know. I think they'll be okay.
They might not get the ball with the running backs in Carolina. They can't stop the run.
It could be a giant James Cook week. All right, so that's
no, he's saying
I'm saying the Carolina backs.
Oh, I thought you were going the other way.
Your team.
Oh, my team sucks. Dude, I hate that running back situation. That's my least favorite of the whole. Like, I don't want to. I just pick one.
I hate it too.
Just pick one. I don't I know Rico's clearly the better back right now. So
I was gonna say, I think I would go with Rico.
They had like the same amount of carries last week, and he was way more efficient. So like, why are we just not playing Rico at this point? They're just doing it to me. Oh, but Chu was a captain. I don't care. Get him out of there. Let's see some Rico. I want to see Uncle Rico. All right, so This week, week 8 is a fun one. I will say that. So I'm not sure we lost Sean there. But if we did, we'll keep it rolling, James. Fun week ahead of us here. We got Armadillos, Bombers, Long Gamers, Battle Axes, Lionheads, Plague, and we also have Elk, Cheese Fries, another good matchup. And then, of course, the Tank Bowl here at 0-7, Lambs and Muskrats. So really fun week here. I mean, we'll have to do a watch party maybe or something on Monday just to see what happens on Monday Night Football. We'll start with my team here at the top against the Bombers. I kind of preliminarily set my lineup just to kind of have something to talk about. Still have some injuries at tight end with potentially Kincaid not playing. Bowers is probably still not playing at this point either, so I'm going to roll with Kelsey. But really, the flex plays are kind of the same as what they've been. I'm going to keep rolling out Rico. I threw Jaylen Warren in there as well. There's really not a lot of huge like injury things here, except for Nico Collins got banged up last night. So that kind of he hasn't really been all that great. It's the Texans have not been good. So he's kind of also just like he's kind of gone down with the ship there a little bit for this year. He's wide receiver 29 on the year with the bye week, and he's had some real duds mixed in, some 2-pointers in there. So just hasn't been what I was hoping for him, but makes it pretty easy when you got George Pickens, who's playing excellent football, to take his spot. So
he's been so good. Well, now, I mean, it's only one game with Lamb back, and he had a good game.
He was like 80 yards or something like that.
Yeah, but I wonder if that changes now that Lamb's back, because obviously his 2 monster games were without Lamb.
Yeah, I do think that's probably where this goes, is where we're back to maybe the 80 yards and a touchdown kind of games, as opposed to the 160 yards or whatever. Which is fine, but
I think I would still bank on him more for a touchdown production than I would Lamb on a week to week.
I mean, it feels like he had won every single game for the first 6 games. So
I think they're both close to wide receiver ones the rest of the year for both of them.
It kind of feels like when T. Higgins and Jamar were both going off for weeks and weeks on end. I hope it stays like that. Matchup wise, let's take a look for some specific matchups. I think there's a couple decent ones. I do like Odunze against Baltimore. Just that feels like a very beatable defense at this point. Like you were saying, Rico against Buffalo. Buffalo has not had very good success stopping the run recently, so that one seems kind of fun. Going over to the Bombers side of the things.
This is a tough week for the Bombers.
A lot of good players
on bye.
There's a lot of bye weeks.
Yes, we have Etienne on bye. You got Charbonnet on bye.
Defense.
I would be starting Troy Franklin. That was him
against Dallas. Yeah, that feels pretty good.
You see Dallas, you just fired up
Sean, and while we're here, I'll just bring it up. Ben Sinnott. He's not good, I think. I think you were right. I think you were right on that one.
Would you like me to gloat? What do you want from me right now?
I just feel like you maybe deserve at least something for this, because I thought he's playing 4% of the snaps week 2. That's just not gonna cut it.
That's when he had his catch.
And that's when he had a catch. I mean, I literally think we're doing 2 redshirt years behind Ertz at this point, and that's your hope, is that maybe next year he's something. But this is getting harder and harder to hold a guy like this. So I just thought I'd bring it up here while we're here, because we didn't talk about him all year so far. A lot of bye weeks. We have obviously the Seattle backs on bye. Etienne on bye, Harrison on bye, the Oakland receivers on bye. So this is just a tough week, and really needs Pearsall to play. I mean, that's a piece of the puzzle here. We're starting Sterling Shepard, so he's fine, but not much of a fantasy guy really at this point in his career. But I feel pretty good about my chances this week. We'll say that.
Yeah.
With that, we'll move on to.
Will you pick up a kicker for this week, or just?
I am going to be cutting Bates because he has not been good at this point, so I'm just going to cut him. I don't care. I'm tired of looking at 6 points a week from him. So I just thought that offense is high powered. Maybe they'll just keep it rolling. It's just been. I'm just tired of kickers in general, but that one is just brutal. It's I thought he was going to be fine. All right, so let's go to the next game. We got Battle Axes Long Gamers Jared Goff on the bye for the long gamers this week.
Yeah, hold on. Let me fix my lineup real quick.
I was gonna say you want to. Yeah, oh, there he is. Beautiful.
Everybody.
So, the assumption is Lamar's playing right this week.
I sure hope so.
I mean, otherwise, what's the other options?
I need it. It's Drake May against.
Well, that's not a problem. Like I thought you're not dealing with like Andy Dalton or something.
No. Hold on, let me.
I mean, I just want to see Lamar play football again. I'm just tired of watching the Ravens without.
Yeah,
I just don't want to watch Cooper Rush and Tyler Huntley.
Their season is.
Hey, that's Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley. Calm down.
Snoop Huntley. Yeah, they stink right now. They're just a bad
on the
team.
line. So, but yeah.
All right, and I think.
Do you think Harbaugh is even on the hot seat at this point?
No.
I wonder if they actually like a fully healthy team and they still didn't pull off anything in the playoffs, like, do you have to start considering it at least?
I think if they miss the playoffs, you should even consider firing him.
Only if you think promoting Monken is the right move.
Yeah, I just don't know if that changes.
I feel like
because I think you need to keep like an offensive mind at this point.
But yeah, you really can't obviously in today's NFL, like offensive guys are like the gold standard for head coaches at this point. It's like giving one up potentially seems stupid.
I mean, I think the DC situation is actually more of a problem in Baltimore, but I don't know. Maybe you wait for one of these coaches to get fired, one of these defensive coaches, and just pull like a Niners hiring Saleh, because I just don't think. I think it's Zach Orr. Is that that's the defense?
That is Zach Orr, yeah.
I haven't really seen anything that is inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, and they've just been incredibly injured this year too, so that's like kind of a piece of that puzzle. But anyway, so yeah, I guess at the very least we'll see Drake May here for the long gamers.
My lineup is...
Man, Dobbins against Dallas feels hot. That feels like a big one. Cortland Sutton against Dallas as well for your squad. Drake London against Miami. Michael Pittman against Tennessee. This is Sean. There's some great matchups here.
Great matchups, but the Battle Axes have the higher projection.
Okay.
Let's see, where does that come from?
I don't think Lamar is counting towards my total right now.
It says he's got 27 in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Sean, you bring up a good point. Something's off here because when I match them up.
Let me put Drake May in and we'll see if my.
It says 130 to 125 for me.
Okay, so it must have just updated.
I switched May and the points counted for the quarterback. So because Lamar says he's out, it doesn't actually count his projected points as part of your projection. So there's some interesting UI.
Classic sleeper UI.
FAQs for sleeper.
I mean, so good matchups for your squad this week, I think. So I think this is interesting. I think Kamara against Tampa Bay. We have pretty good success against Kamara usually.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a problem.
Did
but I am
Servassier get hurt?
I hope he's not playing. I don't care. I just don't want to see him anymore. I don't want him to get hurt, but I just don't need to see.
I know, but I want him chasing Kamara. Is what I want.
I don't want to see Servassier Dunnis overrun another tackle for the rest of the year. I'm just tired of it. He's just not good. And this linebacking core stinks out. If Levante gets hurt, there's nothing. It's an absolute disaster.
He did get banged up in that game on Monday.
And he did, and I thought that was the end of the season. I was like, if he's literally hurt for more than 5 weeks, this defense falls apart entirely. Which is that's something in the offseason the Bucs are going to have to figure out, because he's not going to play forever, man. It's we got to come up with some other option. Because Servassier Dennis is not, he's not getting the green dot for me, James. I don't know about you.
Nope.
he's not getting the green dot.
Absolutely not.
The good news for the
Bucs before I give it to him.
The good news for the Bucs is this linebacker class is the best linebacker class in quite a while.
It's almost like Jason Light knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I just, for whatever reason, they are very high on Servassier Dennis for so long, and I've never seen anything that makes me feel anything decent about his play. He's pretty athletic, but it seems like he's got no idea what's going on out there sometimes. So I don't know. Anyway, that's probably too much Servassier Dennis talk for a Dynasty podcast. So anyway, let's go over to Scavelli's team. He's got Baker against New Orleans, which feels like a good bounce back opportunity.
we got Bo Nix versus Dallas as an option too. So
yeah, that seems hot. So I mean, who do you play out of those two? I think I would go Bo Nix, honestly.
Does it mean anything that I've got Dobbins and Sutton? What are your guys' thoughts on stuff like that as far as matchups? If I've got like the offensive,
no, it's interesting. I do. I mean, maybe I shouldn't factor that stuff in, but I sometimes do because I think about like paths to win, right? Like I got to put like the right kind of path for my team to win. If I had Scavelli's team here, so that could sway me.
Yeah, I feel like. Man, I just feel like Knicks is just gonna put up a lot of points, man. Like I feel like that those games just end up as shootouts. Those Cowboys games, and even last week against the Giants was a massive shootout game. So like I don't see anything changing there really. Also, too, I mean I know Cincinnati's been ass this year, but they're playing the Jets, and that feels like a great matchup. So play anybody against the Jets and Raiders at this point.
If Garrett Wilson isn't playing, I will keep that in the start. Honestly, if he plays, I might change it just for that one player, but.
Which is crazy. Like I would never ever think that.
Wait, say that again.
I said I'll play the Bengals if Garrett Wilson doesn't play, but if he plays, I'll probably just switch to like the Texans or something. But like I don't trust the Texans. I don't trust the Bengals whatsoever. But that Jets team that they're putting out on the field right now is just fucking terrible.
The Jets are one of the worst products I've ever seen in football. So like I've seen a lot of bad teams, but that's a pretty bad one.
Did you see Woody Johnson's comments today on Fields? It's brutal.
No. Can you remind me?
He was defending Aaron Glenn. He's like, well, when you've got a quarterback playing like that, it's really hard to blame it on the coach.
Like when a quarterback is playing like that?
Yeah, he's like, you can't really blame
he just
the coach.
Completely threw him under the bus.
Oh my God, he ran him over like 3 times. So they're starting Tyrod Taylor.
But the thing is with the Jets and like this situation is this is nothing that almost everybody didn't know. Like Justin Fields is not a thrower of the football. We know that. We've known that for at least 4 years.
If he can see something open, he'll throw it to it. But he plays
that's
with
that's not NFL quarterback play.
Right.
That's just not. That's like PHU Hurricanes football. Like, oh yeah, the guy's wide open. Let me throw him the ball. Like that. Anybody, you can go out to Pop Stansel Field and do that. Like that's not NFL football.
His turnover worthy throws this year is at 0%.
I mean, he hasn't even thrown enough passes to even do that.
You could argue if you're 0% on a stat like that, it's bad.
That's not a good. No, I totally would argue that. Like, if you're not even taking a chance, like, what are we doing here? Like, and then when Tyrod came in a couple of weeks when the Bucs were playing, like, the offense just looked better in general. It's like, why didn't we just do this the whole way? Like, it's just I just can't. I'm not going to defend Fields as a quarterback anymore. Like the idea that like he's going to be a starter at some point again is just. I think
it's over.
That's
it's over.
He needs to be Taysom Hill.
He needs a career path change. Like he's going to have to be a versatile guy from here on out. He's going to have to go like the Terrell Pryor route or something. Like he can't. He's just not a thrower. So whatever that looks like in the future, it's not going to be a quarterback for me at least. So, all right, let's go to our next matchup here. We got Lionheads versus Plague. Projections are pretty close right now. I don't know if anybody set their lineups here yet, but we got a 103 to 96 projection in favor of the Lionheads right now, so it's pretty close. I have not been following. What has Nick Chubb been doing?
Not much.
Okay, last week was very bad. This past week.
Well, that was who the Plague needed last night to come back and beat Scavelli, and he did nothing. He got 1 point.
He literally had 5 carries for 16 yards, so that's just not going to do it.
So Chubb's not doing much.
Okay, so assuming he stays in the roster, then we can't really bank on him. Kareem Hunt, I think, had like a few carries this past week. Lost some work to Smith for the most part. It seemed like.
I mean, well, the game was over so fast. Really,
they didn't even have to play him. I guess
trying to take anything snap count wise from that game is just worthless.
I mean, I gotta tell you, like Dan's team for a tanking team like Kayshon Boutte, he's made some plays. Ferguson's been solid. I mean, Romeo Doubs could blow up on any given week. Addison's been solid. Metcalf's been solid. So it's not like, I mean, Danny Dimes has been very good as well. So like, this is definitely not like a cakewalk game here by any means for the Lionheads. They're gonna have to put up some points, but
I'm so excited to see who he ends up starting at tight end this week because he has nobody.
He doesn't have a single tight end.
It's Tonjes.
Oh, Jake Tonjes. 0.73 projection. I love that.
Oh wow, they're all on. They're all on bye.
Njoku's
hurt. And then Njoku's hurt. Wow.
Is there anybody better in free agency? Probably not.
Just with Kittle back, probably.
There's got to be somebody out there. Anyway, I mean, just what about the Hunter Long? Like, go for the touchdown. Go for the Jackson Hawes touchdown.
Try and get a Hunter Henry for a fourth, James.
Hey, now we're talking.
It's time to cash in, baby.
Let's reanimate those dead horses.
Look, I got tight ends for days.
James loves
Hunter
the
Henry,
and he's flooded with the position. The position is flooded with talent now with Rondé Gadsden.
You'll be getting messages about your tight ends after the show. Don't you worry.
Here we go.
All right.
This is the content we want. This is what I've been asking for the whole show.
I got Tucker Kraft. I'm happy.
So it doesn't look like any other like crazy. So we have David Montgomery, Kyler Murray on a bye, Cooper Kupp on a bye.
Yeah. The wide receiver position is
McBride on a bye. Yeah, this is bad.
You're hoping Terry comes back?
It's Mario Douglas as a starter. It doesn't feel good at this point.
No.
I mean, get Zay Flowers back. Hopefully Lamar's back for Zay Flowers. That would be huge.
The problem is, even if Terry comes back, there's no. I mean, obviously you would start him, but there's no Jane Daniels now, and that's a Monday night, so you would need a good.
How long Jaden Daniels is out at this point, or is that still?
They just said it's not expected to be a long-term injury, but
they're going to be 3-7, and then they're going to shut him down for the year.
Yeah,
I mean their schedule of the next 3 weeks is tough.
Yeah, so they'll be 3-7.
Detroit,
I mean, that was a team that we kind of pegged as like a regression team before the injury, but now it's just like even more obvious. And their defense isn't playing well either, so that's another piece of the puzzle. I still think the Lionheads should come out on top, but this is definitely not going to be a cakewalk game here. Like, do you guys think it's something else? Do you guys think the Plague might get a win here?
Here, I'll say this: if his Falcons don't.
It's the running
play
backs
amazing. Well, that's. I mean, Penix, yeah, but the rest of the team is. Well, I guess Zay Flowers gets Lamar back, so that should be.
Yeah, that should be
good.
A bump. But it's better than anything else he's tried out recently.
But I mean,
we went from starting Tutu Atwell last week. I mean, that's when you know you're down bad, is when you're starting Tutu Atwell.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to be interesting. Like Vince or like Sean said, like these running backs at the very least should be 20-point backs at this point. So
counting Algier in that category too, because they're both playing Miami.
Yeah, well, Bijan against Miami. Whatever the over is on Prize Picks, DraftKings betting of your choice, I will be slamming the over, just like whatever that is, because that game should be. The problem is it doesn't get out of hand too fast, and he gets like.
That's why I'm worried. So I'm worried about London. I'm like, is this game going to be over too fast?
Mike McDaniel, I've never seen anything like what he's doing right now at the podiums. Like, it is just. There's never been a more defeated looking coach than Mike McDaniel than right now. Like, he looks like an absolute zombie up there. It's brutal.
I heard somebody make the case that Greer can't get fired right now because they're still going through the Flores lawsuit, and he knows too much.
Oh my God!
And that he won't get fired until that's over. And I was like, huh.
I mean,
Vince, when you watch this, let me know.
Vince is not going to like that.
Let me know. Like, if I'm missing something, please tell me. That's just what I heard on a podcast.
I mean, all that sounds completely accurate for how ridiculous the Dolphins organization has been recently. So I would not bet against any of that. That would be crazy. I mean, to keep Greer another year, like what else do you need to see from this guy other than the fact that he knows too much? Like he's not done anything there's been no long-term sustained success from this team in what seems like 20 years at this point. So
if you're ranking 1 to 3, who would you get rid of first? Like, it would go Greer, Tua, McDaniel to me, personally.
No, I would go McDaniel second, just because I just
don't think he's a head coach. I don't
think he's a head coach, and I think the sunk cost of the court. Like, I'd be willing to give Tua like 5 games next year with a new with a new coach and say, all right, hey,
new coach, quarterback, and
and just trot Tua.
Benching.
Yeah, trot Tua out there for the first 5 or 6 games. All right.
I mean, like their dead cap between him and Tyreek, if they get rid of Tyreek next year, would be like 95.
Well, you have to get rid of Tyreek. So that's what I'm saying. So like I because you're paying Tua all that, I might as well just keep Tua for a year, and then whatever.
It'll be like a different version of like the Penix and Kirk Cousins situation, where it's like, okay, well, we have this guy. Right. We basically don't have a choice because nobody's going to trade for this guy. So like, we're just going to hold him, and just because he's going to be better than any other option we have. So
Tua for Kirk right now, you get 2 lefties in Atlanta. New situation for him.
I mean, it'd be one of the
Who
most
says no?
be one of the most disgusting trades in NFL history, but
I don't know
I
what
don't
the
even
fuck
want to see that.
I don't
Like,
know what
it's
the
just-
Dolphins are doing with Kirk.
And Dolphins are just not in good shape right now. All right, we'll go to Cheese Fries Elk. This is supposed to be a good matchup, but look at the buys over here. We have some serious issues.
They're all
There's six.
gone.
There's 6 teams on
Oh,
bye
man.
week in week 8.
Which
Yeah,
I
it's-
just cannot.
Yeah, it's
I
bad.
just hate the NFL for that. But anyway,
Well, there's one.
Um,
I think it's every year. It's like week 8 or week 10. Yeah, like every year. It's been the past few years where there's a 6-team.
Last year it was like week 12.
I think you might be right. Yeah, it could
I
be
do
the same
remember
thing.
later.
Because people were trying to make the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
just
Well, fuck
nobody
you.
playing.
Yeah, it's like you got to know your audience here. We're all playing fantasy and ripping bets all week. This is not helping us. So
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And the Elk have both of his running backs. He doesn't have running backs besides those 2.
I mean, that's basically what I was getting at. It's like we're talking Genty and Kyron Williams are both on bye. Like, what are the options here at this point? We're looking at
Spears
Like-
for sure.
You could get crazy and put Giddens in and just hope that it's a blowout.
that would be.
That's.
I mean,
probably only
Rodriguez
a-
is actually like touching
That's
the
a-
ball, isn't he?
That's
He
aggressive.
only had 3 touch. There's just not a lot of.
I don't know.
You can start Caleb Johnson and look at him on the bench for a little while.
Yeah.
I don't know who else to play here. This is not good.
Do these teams that we've looked at? I mean, we're talking Lionheads, Bombers, Elk, all these. But like, should these teams be trying to make moves, or should they just be grinding it out? Like, I'm curious from like. I mean,
So
we obviously all have
before
very different
you-
perspectives.
It's so funny you say that because before you got on, I told Eric, I was like, the bottom 3 teams are so much propping up the rest of the league wins wise, based off of what I would say the rosters tell you, that I don't know if they're going to be able to make moves because they're all fighting each other to get in. So like, I don't know how many moves people are actually going to make.
I mean, to me, I
they
just
want
feel like
to.
it's going to be like a giant stalemate where it's like, okay, we're all not going to do anything, and we're just gonna
Right.
dive for the knife, and we'll just see what
Well,
happens.
Yeah.
Because,
No, that's
like, I mean, to me, none of these teams can feel like extremely confident in like, oh, if I get into the playoffs, I'm gonna make a run. Maybe Vince's team because of those 2 running backs, maybe. But like outside of that, like, there's still so many other problems with that team. Like, I just don't see. Like, it doesn't feel like mortgaging any sort of future picks and maybe if it's a trade, maybe it's between the teams. Like, I don't know. Like, it just doesn't
Yeah.
feel like it's going to
I
be.
could see that. I could see Dustin trading for Mahomes because he just has a stupid amount of draft capital and he can do whatever he wants with it.
yeah.
So like he could do that, and regardless, even if he's not trying to win, like you add Mahomes, like cool.
Do any of these teams just
that's a
flat
win.
out, like, if let's say they get on a run of a couple of losses here, do they throw in the towel? Does any team at some point throw in the towel and just sell off people?
Well, it's the same thing. Who's buying?
Gotta
Who's buying, Eric? Nobody's
It
buying.
would have to be like the contenders just trying to keep
Yeah,
bolstering
I mean,
rosters. Like, that's the thing. I don't know.
I mean, if Scavelli's just like says uncle, like his strengths and what he could sell to Dustin, if Dustin wanted to make a run, would fit very well.
But Scavelli also has he's out on picks in the future. Like we gotta schlep this thing. We gotta keep schlepping this thing out there until we're.
So you think
It's true though. He doesn't have any
Baker-
picks at all.
so you think
I don't know.
Baker, Barkley, Henry for whatever draft capital you want from Dustin? You don't think
Look,
that would?
I want to believe it, but my first 2 hot takes on the year were completely awful, and my third one was about the Elk making this big move. I don't know if I believe it anymore. They should, but I guess the other thought I had recently though too is what if these teams are waiting for the NFL trade deadline too, right? Because maybe the NFL there's gonna make some moves, like wait till you get a little closer to it. Like there's still enough time now, but I don't know. I just come from the cloth of being aggressive, so it's just interesting, like watching it unfold. Like man, these teams aren't trying to make moves, and it's there for the taking.
Well, I think
No,
all 3 of these teams are probably
Yeah.
frankly, just the lesser aggressive teams in the league when it comes
that
to
that
like,
plays in. Yeah,
in season
That-
trading.
that
I don't
helps.
feel like has been a big thing with these teams.
You're talking to Mr. Fuck them picks.
no, that's true. So I know. So I know
all
you,
3 of us
you-
have been known to trade some picks when we want to make a move. Like that's kind of I think there's some
Yeah.
teams in the league that would prefer to not move picks, and then some that like usually like Scavelli's making a move before the season to kind of like, the hot tub trade machine. And like even this year he's done it again with T Higgins and stuff like that. So like, I feel like he's more of like a off season trader as opposed to in season.
I mean, but I could even argue there. I mean, there's value to getting like the 4 seed in the league, right? Because then you have your first game against somebody that you're probably better than, and then like you say, hey, if I win a semifinal, I'm in the final, and I get my like I don't know. That's just the way I always view a team. Like if you're gonna make the playoffs, like I feel like you should have the mindset that hey, I can win it. I can win in the playoffs.
Yeah, you got to give yourself a shot.
Yeah.
And to me, like the team
it's one thing if
that's closest to that's probably the Elk. Like if like they have like some of the pieces, maybe not all of them, but they also have, but they have the capital. So it's like out of all the teams, like it makes the most sense for him probably. But we've been talking about this for 6 months, I feel like. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess, at this point. So anyway, tough week for the Elk in terms of buys, and then the Cheese Fries pretty much rolling out some of their best lineup, I guess, at this point. It depends if Garrett Wilson plays. I think Debo's also banged up. But he's got plenty of guys on the bench.
Not this week with buys.
Well, I guess he's got Smith and Jigba's out, Hunter's out.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a little bit tougher.
But I'm sure
Gibbs is on a buy as well. Yeah, Tibbs' team, I mean, has the depth to withstand some of this stuff, and maybe the Elk doesn't. So, especially at running backs this week. I'm curious to see who the Elk trot out at running back. And then we'll finish out the podcast here with everybody's favorite, the Tank Bowl between the Muskrats and Lambs.
Oh, yeah.
James, this is a big one.
I
don't think there's ever been a more important Tank Bowl, really, I guess, up until now, because like these are the true 0-7 teams. The Muskrats have been feisty at times. Obviously, with Mahomes playing at the top of his game at this point, he's the number 1 quarterback this season. Like if he drops
against Washington, I mean, that could be a 40 burger easy.
It could be. I mean, he's had the last 3 of his last 4 weeks, he's been over 32 points. So, I mean, there's no reason to believe that can't happen again, if not more. So that would be a huge crux in potentially him winning this matchup. But running back wise, you have him completely dominated as expected. But
I mean, Vidal at least is. I mean, like Minnesota's gotten shredded a couple times, and I saw Haskins is out, so Vidal could have a nice game.
Alton Pipkins are practicing this week too.
Yeah, and the game script was not very good for Vidal last week, so that kind of had something to do with it. But I just don't believe in those running backs over years at all. But then coming down to the receivers, CeeDee Lamb coming back actually is kind of a problem here. But yeah, he should be getting that 12 points. But I mean, this receiving squad outside of Quentin Johnson, who's been pretty solid this year, is not ideal. Chig Okonkwo again is somehow still starting on this team. What has he done recently? Oh, it was a good 0 points last week.
Nice goose egg.
That's a good goose. Yeah, but no flatline. He got the 2 targets. So that's nice. Jaden Higgins is in the starting roster. Well, didn't they lose Kirk or something recently too? Or not Kirk?
Yeah, but Noel had a good game.
Did he really? I didn't even notice.
He's 77 yards.
I fell asleep. Yeah, 4-7 for 77. Okay, that's a nice little game for him. That's a come up game. Chimere Dike.
He also
this is his first good game of the year. Look at these other numbers. Holy shit. Why receiver 93?
Well, he'd been primarily returning for them, and then Ridley was hurt, right? So I guess he got.
We know that for the return yards because off the rails, he's a fucking superstar. He's literally like wide receiver like 5 or 6. We were talking about that the other day on the.
He's a great player.
Guy's an absolute superstar in that league. I love it. And then we have another kicker issue here for buys.
But Patriots defense against Cleveland for the Muskrats.
That's massive.
I'm looking at you.
That's massive.
We'll see.
We'll see exactly. Yeah. That's a huge one.
No, I mean,
I don't know. I feel like
I'm projecting. The Lambs projected 107. That's more than a few teams that we just went over. Now, granted, some of them have kicker issues or whatever, pick up a thing, but
James, how are we feeling about Keon Coleman?
Can't be good.
I think the lie I tell myself, I guess, is that he needs to get on a second contract be on a bad team and just get pumped with volume. Because in an efficient offense, and I think this goes back to our whole X receiver thing, where I just don't think, and I think he is kind of like, he's one of the product examples, because like you got to have like that Drake London, Mike Evans speed, and Ken Coleman doesn't, and he's doing dumb shit where he's getting disciplined before practice, he's fumbling the ball, but you see the upside against the Ravens. But that was kind of a backyard school game. How it the Bills were down by so much. It's week 1, like. But again, you see the talent there, so there's obviously something there. He's young. I'm hoping post bye maybe they all right, like let's draw some like easy stuff up for him. Like let's get him like slants and easy throws early. But like obviously I'm concerned.
Just that first week of the year, it just felt like, oh, maybe we got something here now finally.
But there's obviously like the talent's obviously there, right? Because we saw it week 1, and like.
I just think it's not like it's the type of talent like Sean has kind of mentioned a couple of times. It's like I don't feel like the role matches what his talents are. They're trying to like force him into like a role he's not really good at.
Yeah, maybe he should be this big slot kind of player.
But then like Kincaid is basically that spot. Like that's Kincaid's role basically. So it's kind of like unless they run 2 big slots, but then Shakir's also on the slot as well. It's like, how many slot guys can you have? Like
that's true. So yeah, they need him outside, but it's just not really. He's not doing enough.
It's the classic, like, oh, look, he's big and he's 6'4", 215. Well, you're the X receiver. There you go. You're on the outside. It's the exact thing we were just talking about. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like there's something there, but the usage just doesn't feel right now. So that's strange. But all right, so that's going to be probably it here, guys. Anything else for this week before we log off here today? Anything? All right. Well, James, thanks for hopping on. This is a good episode. We have a lot of really good games this week, so very likely to be on Discord for the games on Sunday. So feel free to hop on and join us if y'all are on.